another episode of the 5 O'Clock Sweats podcast, a podcast where we talk about the stuff that we like to do after work. As always, I am your co-host, Derick.
And I'm Ryan.
And I'm Chris.
And as this is being released, I think this is the 27th of December. So Christmas is long past us, and what is on our mind but the new year ahead of us? And when we think about the new year, I guess we think about New Year's resolutions. Now, I know I've got a little bit of a funky system here. So I've dug up a couple of the past New Year's resolutions. I think I got some thoughts on my upcoming resolutions, but why don't we start with you, Ryan? What do you want to talk about?
So I guess I'll just brief everybody quickly on my on how my resolution for 2023 went.
Brief me, Daddy.
Yeah. So going into 2023, usually I have I always have like the workout more resolution, which is like a staple. I sometimes do like I want to read more, which never works out. So this year I kept it simpler, and I did something that I knew that I would actually want to do. And it's something that I do enjoy doing, and that is going to the movie theaters, actually getting in my car and driving to the theater, buying a ticket, and seeing movies the way they were meant to be viewed. And I did do that. And funny enough, before we started recording tonight, I was thinking back, and I was like, I don't think I really did a great job of keeping that resolution for myself this year. But upon further inspection, and then looking at the list of movies that came out this year, and then awakening the memory in my head, I did see a good amount of movies in the theater this year.
Don't say.
Yeah, so let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. I almost hit 20. Actually, no. Well, if I saw one movie twice, does that count? Because if that does... No. Okay. Well, I saw 19 different movies in the theater this year, and I might still be missing like one or two, but I'm pretty sure this is it. So I'm going to go down
the... As you were compiling this list, like you kept on... You accidentally remembered the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them.
Yeah, it's very true. And I can't think of another one right now. If I think of one later during the episode, I'll bring it up. I'll just interrupt anyone who's talking. I'll just be like, I saw this movie. Wait. So the list of movies I saw this year, and a lot of them people will know, but I'll start with The Whale, which was fantastic. That was I think Brendan Fraser was nominated for an Oscar for that movie. Super Mario Brothers movie,
right?
I think he did win. Yeah, I think he did win. Super Mario Brothers, obviously, that was one of the biggest movies of the year. Good old Cocaine Bear, which my girlfriend and I just saw for the lulls, basically, and it was fine. It was fine.
Did you lull?
I lulled a little bit. I wish I had lulled more, and I also wish there was more bear. There was too much cocaine and not enough bear. That was when I walked out of that movie. That's what I said to my girlfriend. I was like, there was not enough bear in that movie. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, which was very good. I really enjoyed that. I thought that was probably the best movie Marvel's put out in a while.
Damn.
Across the Spider-Verse, which was another huge movie from this year. That was arguably my favorite movie of the year. It was amazing. John Wick 4, which Chris and I saw in the theater together. It was a pleasure. And obviously that was amazing. I did see the Demon Slayer movie, which was not really a movie per se, but it was basically the last 2 episodes of the last season, and then the first episode of the new season in episode format, but on the big screen. So I count that because they kept promoting it as a movie. And then we get to good old Barbenheimer, which was quite the event.
Yeah, you brought that up in an episode, right?
I did, yeah.
Your weekend of movies and not having IDs.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That was quite the night. Quite a 16 hours that my friends and I had. But probably one of my favorite nights of the whole year. We saw Barbie and Oppenheimer basically back to back. It was like 5 hours of movie, and then we got maybe 4 or 5 hours of sleep, and then saw Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning Part 1 that next morning at 10 o'clock. And yeah, that was also very good. I did see a couple of throwbacks in the theaters that were being shown. The Princess Bride, which, Derek, I know it's one of your favorites. Saw with my dad. And then I did see the OG Halloween right around Halloween time at one of the local theaters. And also saw Ant-Man Quantumania, which, meh.
Nice.
Also, R.I.P. Rip John Majors. He's absolutely screwed, but well deserved for what he did. Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. You know how much I love this movie. You know, I recommend this to everybody. It's one of the best animated movies I've ever seen. Megan,
Yeah, we even watched that. Well, okay,
Oh,
so how many
yeah.
times did you watch that before we watched that?
that when we watched that, I think that was my third time seeing it. I think, but that was also my last time watching it. So I've only seen it 3 times.
Hey man, there's still time in the year.
There is, and I might want to show it to the niece and nephew. Megan, which was surprisingly good. I had like low expectations going to that. That was the one with like the AI doll that turned evil and started murdering people. A Man Called Otto, which was the Tom Hanks movie where he is just some grumpy older man who is dealing with the death of his wife, I believe, and just basically him meeting a family and getting soft. Not
Huh. And before that, he was
getting soft emotionally, kind of lowering the veil a little bit and showing some emotion. That's what I meant. Completely,
Gotcha.
That'll be a clip later.
soft man called Otto.
Just a man getting soft.
Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, another Marvel movie that was good. And then finally, the last one I could think of was No Hard Feelings, which was the Jennifer Lawrence comedy that released a few months back. And that was a solid comedy. They don't really release good comedies in the theaters anymore. That was one of the better ones I've seen in recent years. So at the end of the day, I actually did a decent job. Oh wait, I forgot one. Godzilla -1, obviously, which was the most recent movie I saw, and I saw it twice.
What about Saw X? Weren't you thinking about that?
I was thinking about. I think Chris and I were thinking about seeing that in the theater. It never transpired though.
Yeah. I don't think we could schedule wise make it work, but I still haven't watched it, but I still want to. Like every night, I'm like, do I want a game or should I just watch that movie that I've been trying to watch for 4 months?
It's like the farther away we get from Halloween, it's like,
yeah,
should I just wait till next season?
True, but I mean, well, I've heard great things about it, so yeah, I might still. But yeah, I understand what you mean.
How about this? Just a little peek behind the curtain. We are not recording this on the day that it comes out. And Ryan, you mentioned that you're going to be watching Die Hard sometime before the new year down in Jersey.
Yeah,
I think we can count that. If you follow through, I think you've hit 20.
So I unfortunately was looking at the theater times today. No. I don't see Die Hard anywhere on the website.
It might have been like a weekend vibe.
Might have been, but I will do more investigating when I get down home and see if there's still any showings going on. And if not, you know what? I might find another movie to go see before the end of the year. So
The Boy in the
maybe
Heron,
I can get
maybe.
That's definitely one. I wanted to see The Holdovers, which was the new Paul Giamatti movie, which was giving me like Breakfast Club vibes. That looked really good.
Asteroid City. Well, that's probably not in the theater right
I
now,
don't think that's still running in theaters, unfortunately. Maybe I was going to say maybe Top Gun Maverick is still in the theaters.
Probably, dude.
But yeah, that was my 2023 resolution. End of the day, did a pretty good job looking back. I'm proud of myself. I don't know if do we want to should I go into my 2024 resolution? Do we want to go around and see what how our 2023 resolutions went with everybody else?
It's up to you. I can talk about my past resolutions if you want.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah,
whatever
let's
makes
hear it.
more sense.
I like that.
Okay.
Let's do that.
Okay. So if you know me,
Yes.
you will not be surprised that I've got some weird, like overly intricate system that really doesn't make shit easier for me. Thank you to CGP Grey on the Cortex podcast. I do yearly themes, which sounds the same and really is the same, but not same. Same, different, but still same, So instead of having like specific concrete goals to work towards, like, read 12 books in the year, or have something even more vague, like read more. Instead, I just have an idea that I focus my year around, and when it makes sense and I'm, decision making, I try to keep that idea in my head. So 2020 was the year of here. And that was like, I wanted to be more present in my life, and I really wanted to cut down on phone usage. Now, that probably makes some of you giggle because I'm habitually not on my phone anyway, but I think that's also a byproduct of 2020.
You're better off.
Yeah, it's the funny thing is Derick is literally the only person I've ever texted in my life where like it says like this person has like notifications turned off or something like that. Like I've never seen anyone do that, but Derick. And actually, I've seen some people do it like late at night, but Derick, it'll just like it'll be like 2:30 in the afternoon, and he's just like he's off the grid.
Yep, I've got a focus mode set up, so when I'm working and like there's something I really need to do, I'll turn on that work focus mode. It changes my lock screen, it changes my home screen, it tells all the notifications to fuck off unless it's like my parents or something like that. And I've got the sleep one is normal, but yeah, that is that is probably a byproduct of 2020. It's also the year I decided to treat my inbox more like an inbox instead of a list of urgent requests. Right? If someone's emailing me or texting me, it's not really my responsibility to immediately give them all of my attention. So I get to it when I get to it. Now, you might be thinking 2020, year of here, we were in lockdown. I came up with this in December of 2019. So I didn't know that it was literally going to be the year that I would spend in that apartment the whole time.
Yeah, not great timing.
So, yeah. Fortunately, I feel like I did make it through that first year relatively unscathed. Like the physical was all right, the mental was all right. And that's how 2020 went. Trying to think through it, I don't think I had one for 2021 because it felt weird that like 2020 I didn't really get to do anything.
Yeah,
it was kind of an extension of 2020. It was like just stay survive basically.
Stay alive.
Oh, it reminds me of the end of was it ODST?
Oh, no, Reach. Survive.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think 2022. It was either 21 or 22, but the year of refocus. Now that was like a little photography reference because surprise, I like camera stuff. And the idea there was like if you take a picture of a bunch of things, right? There are some things in the picture that are in focus and some things that aren't as much in focus, but like all of those things are still in the picture. You know what I mean? So that's kind of how I felt like I needed to do that with my life. Like all of the things that are in my life can still be in my life. It's just kind of reprioritizing what I was focusing on. That started off with a bang. I feel like yearly themes and New Year's resolutions, something about the calendar turning over that kind of emboldens a person. But I think by the, I don't know, middle of the year, like June, July-ish, it all just kind of fizzles out. But I'd say that was relatively successful. And coming off that failure, or half failure, I didn't pick one for 2023. So I just kind of vibed with it and survived. That was big for me. But yeah, that's how my past resolutions have gone.
Well, you're here, so you did survive, and I'm proud of you for that. It was a close one.
It's brutal out here. All right, Chris, what do you got? What are your thoughts?
Well, I got a lot of thoughts, but this will, if anyone actually knows me, this is probably no surprise. This is very on brand, but I actually am not a fan of the whole New Year resolution concept in general. That doesn't mean that I don't have goals, right, and things that I'm working towards, but I just find just kind of the opposite of what Derick was saying, where the year, the calendar turning over kind of means something to me. Like the years, they don't, it's a number to me. I you know what I mean? I don't look at all right, it's going to be 2024. So now it's all right, now I have a new set of things. I'm always working towards certain things, and I don't like to put like a time frame on too much. And I also don't like to, I don't know. I don't like to kind of segment like that. At least just that's kind of how my brain works. Plus I've just found like you said, the New Year's resolution thing, I guess it's kind of like the mainstream media just, it annoys me because it's it's all marketing, it's like,
yeah.
Go to the gym, get healthy, start this new diet program for, $7,000 a month. I just feel like it's some of it's pretty superficial, and it's a lot of people saying they're going to do something that you know what I mean? You don't need a new year to do a lot of things. Just do it. Stop talking about it, do it kind of thing. So I think that's kind of what I don't like about it. Plus I'm sure there's not a real statistic, but what percentage of New Year's resolutions are gone by March,
Oh,
so
you can just see it from the gym.
Yeah.
January 1st, or sorry, maybe not the 1st, January 2nd at the gym is a nightmare. It's a madhouse. These people that come in, they don't even know how to use the equipment, and they're like, what is this? Should I stretch? I don't know, just people, and they're not wiping down the equipment and everything, and just a bunch of people obviously that have not been going to the gym frequently or have not gone in a while. And then by the end of January, it's kind of back to normal again, which
yeah,
that'll be me next month, my boy.
Not if I had anything to say about it.
That might actually be me. I keep telling myself I'm going to get back, but I think in past years, I've had a lot of things I wanted to achieve, you know what I mean? Buying the house, getting married, having our first child, now, continuing to, grow as a father. So those are obvious goals and things, but again, it's not now that it's New Year's, I'm going to try to be a good whatever, I'm kind of always trying to do that. I would say, I think in the last year, I've tried to be a little bit, maybe in the last 6 months more so, I think I've shifted my focus, towards being a little bit more, I guess, open-minded, maybe. I don't want to say tolerant, because I don't mean that in a, you know what I mean? No, but really, I think just maybe being a little bit more optimistic. I tend to kind of have that pessimistic view.
Yeah.
So trying to maybe shape that a bit.
Yo, is he laughing a little bit too hard?
I'm just laughing. I'm just laughing because I feel like he's just trying to say be less of an asshole.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh man.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah, so maybe that a little bit.
I don't know. For what it's worth, peek behind the curtains. We talk in and out of the podcast for the last, 8 months now.
Yeah.
So I feel like I've seen a lot of that like open-mindedness. Like I feel like the idea to even, build this podcast on its own is, it requires
and I think
a level of open-mindedness.
that's something too. Like, like this year, I kind of wanted to, I had been streaming for a while, and so I was kind of ready to like try like a new, content form, and I think that's why we all kind of came together on this. So I mean, that was definitely, again, it was a goal, but I don't look at things as like resolution, but I mean, I guess you could say, yeah, that was a goal for 2023. And then, well, as we discuss our, our goals for 24, I'll kind of comment on the podcast a bit more, but yeah, that's sort of where I stand in the past few years. I've had, more life goals and personal goals than, I don't know. I try not to do like, we'll watch X number of this, or we'll see this show, or, what I mean? We'll go to this event.
Yeah.
You've got actual adult goals and resolutions, like building a family. I'm here I'm going to go see Barbenheimer in the theater.
No. So I'm not minimizing anybody's goals. I'm just kind of saying like the way I think.
No, it's all good. I'll get there one day when I'm older.
That's the beauty of it, right? Everyone's got different ways of thinking about stuff, like especially I mean, loosely we could call it goal setting, just so it's as broad as possible, but like I don't know, everything's valid, man.
It's true unless your goal is to play more disc golf, that's not valid.
Well, that's minutes. Yeah, I gotta log off.
I'm just playing. Show us the sweater. Show us the sweater.
Listeners, Ryan is wearing a t-shirt designed like an ugly Christmas sweater that says Merry Discmas.
Yeah, and I had to put on a sweatshirt over it because it's a little tighter than it was this time last year. I won't disclose why. I'll just say it's because I'm really strong now. I got a lot more muscular. Yeah. Definitely not the fact that I have gained some weight, but it's all right.
No, bro. It's all muscle.
Oh, anyway, I don't want the nips protruding out and distracting Chris.
Maybe
specifically, you might break the camera with those things.
I gotta be careful. I mean, the camera's expensive. You may not be. It may not look like it. It wasn't cheap. Oh man.
All right. So what do you got queued up for 2024? I feel like I still haven't really processed that like 2023 is like a real actual number of a year that we were in, and now we're in the next one already.
I agree. I don't think I've processed anything since like 2019.
Yeah, that's fair.
Like I swear, the pandemic years, I think we were talking about 2020 and 2021 for sure, are like a blur. Like I couldn't tell you like things that happened in my life, like if it was in which year, aside from our wedding. But it feels very much of like a blur.
Yeah, this is like the first actual year we've had since the pandemic. But it has also been the fastest. Like this 2023 has been like insanely quick. Like I can't. I can't even put in the words, but it's also strange because even when I was making my movie list, I was like, wait, that came out this year. So it's like a weird situation where like the year was definitely fast, but then like your memory of things, you're not quite sure if they took place this year or not. So it's been very weird. I still can't believe it's almost over. 2024 is real.
I think it's like a product too of just like, I think, like as we get older, like obviously you get busier, but you're also like, kind of like affected by more like external things, like just, what's going on, let's say like in the economy, the world, whatever, work, family, all that stuff. It like impacts you more than obviously when you're a kid. So like, I feel like we're just like ping pong balls, like bouncing around like crazy all year. And it's like, I just feel like that's why the years just go so fast, is because like, even if you're not like physically busy, like mentally, you're just like always, at least I'm always going, you know what I mean? Work, family, we're working on the podcast, balancing hobbies, what have you. It's just like each day just flies by even.
Yeah, and I feel like it's tough to kind of like find those markers, right? Like for us with the podcast, it goes week by week, right? Like we basically record weekly, and
Yeah.
that's almost like an anchor in my week. And then during
Yeah.
the football season, like we've got Sundays. During Formula One season, I've got Sundays. So like there's always something to be looking forward to.
Sure.
But like if you're always looking forward, sometimes like the rest of those 6 days just like pass you the fuck by.
Yeah. I think like what you were saying, Derek, trying to be more present, like that's definitely something that's important, and I find myself missing out on sometimes is because I am like that. I've always said like I like to have something to look forward to, and like even if they're like small little things, it could even be each day. Like I'm looking forward to watching this tonight, or like whatever, eating this for dinner. I don't know, it could be anything. But you're right. Like we're always, and I think just as people, we're always looking ahead, and like that's why things seem to go so fast because like we're not always like present.
Mm-hmm.
So to speak.
It's just because just like working sucks. That's why, because the work week drags and you just need something. You need some light at the end of the tunnel to get you through the week. I'm like, oh, yeah, thank God the weekend's here.
And you kind of wake up like every day, like wishing like 80% of your day by. You know what I mean? Which is like the work day, right? Just like, I can't wait till I'm done work. Like it's like every day for the most part you do that, which is like that sucks. We should work like 2 days a week.
Amen.
Yeah, 2 days a week would be. I want
get
2
paid
days a
3
week.
times as much.
Yeah, exactly. That makes sense. Corporations are dumb. They should let us do that.
Yeah, vote for me for president. 2-day work week, triple pay.
You've got my vote, man. You've got my vote. And can you also cancel all my student loans, please? Because that actually,
oh god,
that never ended up happening. All right, so let's move on to 2024 resolutions. Made a little bit. I have a couple. I'll pick 2 that I'm really going to focus on that I think are important for my health, honestly. And one of them is pretty simple: sleep more, because I don't sleep enough. I'm a night owl. As I get older, it's becoming harder and harder for me to stay up late. And I think, Chris, you've talked about this before on past episodes. Like, I treat the evening like I'm taking back my day a little bit because I feel like it gets robbed from me by work. And I want to just like stay up and enjoy things that I can't do during the day, like things that I'm passionate about, like gaming or catching up on shows or even just going down the YouTube rabbit hole. Like I don't know what I mean. I'll find any excuse to stay up, and my body honestly is just it's almost incapable of falling asleep before midnight. Like I just don't get tired before midnight anymore. So I'm going to try to make a concerted effort to get more sleep during the week. I would say right now I'm averaging like 5 hours of sleep a night. Sometimes less, sometimes less. I would love to get at least 7 hours of sleep a night. That would be, I think that's good. Even I'll take 6, honestly. But if I can get to 7, like I don't need 8, I don't need 9. Like that's a little too much for me. But if I can get to like a 6 or a 7 consistently, that would be good. But that's also gonna that's gonna mean me needing to show some willpower and not stay up late, not play that extra game of Halo, not watch that next episode on Netflix. So it's gonna take some time probably, but I'm definitely needing to do that because listen, the bags under my eyes are a lot darker than they were this time last year, and that's not good. Were you gonna say something?
Yeah, I was just gonna say like something that I've kind of tried to do because that's a little bit of a trap that I've fallen into as well. Is trying to start those things you do in the evening like just a little bit earlier, like even like an hour earlier. Like for example, like if like usually I do like I game in the evening, right? So like instead of me getting on at like 10, so to speak, like maybe I get on at like 8:30, right? So I can still get like quite a bit of time in, and then still go to bed a little bit more reasonable. However, I still fall into that trap also where it's the one more game
Yeah.
effect, right?
Oh
And
yeah.
and then it's 1:45 in the morning, and I'm like, ah, shit.
Oh, God.
Now listen, I'll slip up once in a while, and the weekends are fair game. Like I'll stay up as late as I want on the weekends because I don't have to wake up early. But yeah, during the week I definitely have to do a better job of doing that. And what you were saying, Chris, about starting things earlier, that's definitely something I need to do. Like I would love to get into the routine of going to the gym straight from work. Like I do that most times I do that, but sometimes I come home and I take a nap because I am tired because I didn't sleep the night before, and
Yeah.
it's like a domino effect. So ideally, I'd get off work, go to the gym, come back, make dinner, and then by 7 o'clock or so, I should be ready to do whatever I want with the rest of my evening. So we'll see how that goes. I'll keep y'all updated on that one. One more resolution I think's important for me to do this year, and I received I got a journal from a friend of mine for my birthday this year, and it has nothing written in it, nothing at all.
Wow.
Yeah. So hopefully, if that person's
Prolific
listening, your gift did not go unappreciated. I just am lazy. But yeah, my other resolution this year is to write more, and whether that's journaling, which I would like to try and see how that goes for me and my mental, but also just in general, if anything like that comes to mind, or I'm not like a creative writer or anything like that, but I do have a writing background. I went to college for journalism and English, so I've written a lot in the past. I used to write sports articles for some blogs after college, which was fun. But just something like that. I don't know. Maybe I'll make my own website or something, or maybe something related to the podcast. Who knows? But in whatever form it takes, I would like to write more. I think that would be healthy for me. And then also to not completely lose any writing skill I acquired during school. It's been a few years, so I don't want to get too rusty. I gotta sharpen the knife again, as they say. So those are my two resolutions for 2024. So, Derick, what do you got queued up? Anything?
So, I didn't really give this any thought until, I don't know, 15 minutes before the recording, when we were just talking off podcast. So this is kind of on the fly and subject to change, of course. But 2024's yearly theme for me will be the year of next steps. Now, there's a couple different aspects of this. I feel like I've always been a to-do list kind of guy. I think that my brain works better when it can see, like, this is the stuff that needs to get done, and if applicable, like, this is the order that you should get it done in. I think that in my job as a software engineer, that's one of the things that I really like. One, taking big projects and kind of decomposing them down into smaller tasks so that they can be assigned to whoever, basically. And programming in general is that, right? If you need a system to do something, down at the most basic code level, you're just breaking it down into smaller and smaller steps until you can code for it. I feel like that's kind of the way my brain likes to work. So I think that something that I've struggled with or noticed myself struggling with, especially this year, is kind of like a analysis paralysis. Like I can't really make a decision easily. I can't really, or I haven't been able to look at something that my brain thinks is like this big ugly thing and attack it. Right. So I know that a lot of the time my brain is saying, like, just eat the frog, like do the hard thing and just get it over with.
Mhm.
But it pretty much always falls apart like immediately. Like my brain just refuses to think about something.
Yeah.
And that's at work and even in personal life. Like Christmas shopping this past, well, spoiler alert, this past 2 weeks has been rough because I let it sit for too long, and
Yeah.
scrambling to try to figure out who would want what and how I'm gonna get that, and
Yeah.
even wrapping all of it.
Oh yeah.
And then another aspect of the year of next steps is, I know I've brought it up on the podcast before, but in 2023, I would think that my body and mind were just kind of ruled by anxiety. There was a unfortunately long period of time where I couldn't even really eat. So that was getting, that was getting really out of hand. I
Mhm.
couldn't, go anywhere or do anything that I enjoyed with my friends. And again, that's stuff that I know I enjoyed. For example, I know Ryan, you were asking me to go to the movies for, at least a handful of those 19 that you saw.
Yeah.
And I
All
said no
19.
every single time. Every single time. Because, the thought of just sitting in a theater and that anxiety creeping up on me during the movie, just it wasn't worth the risk to me. And going disc golfing, again, another thing that I like to do. My brain would just be like, oh man, you better be careful about that though. So it just wasn't an enjoyable year because my mind precluded my mind from enjoying itself.
Mhm.
So I feel like I'm finally almost back to where I was before this unfortunate dance with anxiety. And I feel like I'm finally getting back into living my life instead of just kind of spectating. So instead of, being here doing nothing, I want to start to take the next steps in living my own life. I also want to lose a little bit of weight because boy has gotten
Yeah, we're all there.
No, he thick. He thick.
Anything between Thanksgiving and New Year's is fair game. That's the concession I've granted myself, and I can see it in the cheeks. So I am literally going to be taking next steps in the fact that I've been walking a little bit more recently. So
There we go.
it's going to start taking walks, and if that ups the pace into running, we'll see. We'll see. That's what I've got queued up for 2024.
Yeah, man. Well, I'm proud of you. As your good friend, I definitely,
Please.
I definitely know, I definitely noticed that you're definitely getting back to the Derick that I know and love, and I'm happy for that. I'm happy for you for that, and I'm proud of you. And I just want you to keep up the good work. And we're always here
Thanks,
for you,
man.
buddy. We love you.
Hey, it feels great to be on the upswing. Just gotta keep swinging up.
Just keep swinging, just keep swinging, just keep swinging.
There we go. Chris, what about you? You got anything on the brain for 2024?
Mr. No Resolution.
Nah, so again, I have no resolution, but I do have some goals. So I guess I can definitely relate with a lot of what Derick was saying. I've had quite a few life changes this year, and I think my overarching goal for 2024 is to prioritize and manage my time differently. And I've very much struggled kind of mentally with, committing time to things that I don't, or too much time to things that I don't want to, and not feeling like I'm able to commit time to the things that I do want to. And that's definitely caused a great deal of anxiety for me. So, definitely something that I've had to work through, particularly this year. Kind of always feeling like I'm being pulled away.
Mhm.
from what I want, and kind of forced. And I think we all sort of deal with this to some degree, but like pushed into doing things I don't want to and feeling like I'm obligated. You know what I mean? And like work's been crazy, but I've started to kind of change my mindset, and I think I've really just acknowledged this year, and I want to keep doing it into the next year, like just mental health in general, and realizing that it's okay to maybe do things that you want to do, even if that means that you're foregoing maybe some things that you need to do or that other people want you or need you to do. You know what I mean? A little bit like Derick was saying about, like, just the notifications on your phone, right? Like, I'm not obligated to give you my time, so to speak. That's sort of how I'm trying to approach, other things is, at the end of the day, what really matters is my time and spending it the way that I want to. And so that's kind of my goal for 24, is to really just put my time more where I want it to be and less where I don't want it to be. Obviously within reason. We all have to do things we don't want to do, so to speak, but being a little bit better about that, which I've already kind of started doing, especially like with work schedule and stuff. But that also goes into like what Ryan was saying too, sleep wise. So I could probably benefit from some better sleep scheduling myself. So, overall, I think 24 for me is just managing my time in a better way, both for me to get more satisfaction, but also probably for my own mental and physical health. And I would like to also take up a new, preferably like kind of physical activity or hobby.
Ooh.
Like I kind of fell out of the pickleball thing again, but I do kind of want to get back to doing that.
Do
Something
it.
that's fun, that obviously gets me moving a little bit more. I used to play basketball, a lot of sports and stuff, and obviously as you get older, it's just work. And then you're right, Derek, it's like you look and you're like, man, I put on like 5 pounds in like 2 months. It's like, or a
Yep.
month or whatever. It's like,
That's it.
and then I'm like, well, okay, well, what do I do all day? Well, I work and then come home and eat, and then like I like
And then I
watch
sit.
shows or whatever. And I'm like, yeah, like I'm not moving, as much as maybe I used to. So preferably something that's fun that also gets me moving, which pickleball has been. It's just one of those things that's kind of hard to kind of take up because you need other people, or at least I'm the kind of person that needs other people. I don't necessarily like to just show up to something like randomly, so it's a little bit of a harder hobby to kind of plan, but I'm looking to get into something new, really.
Get the get the wife involved in pickleball. You can bring the kid to they have like a daycare
Yeah,
area for kids.
the problem is though, is like with like sports and stuff, like I like that's one of the reasons I really like gaming, but like I have a I have a pretty competitive side. Like it doesn't really come out until like I'm in the thick of it,
Yeah.
but I don't want to be getting a little too riled up.
Come on. You can do it.
Yeah, you see me out there, man.
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
out there.
no.
I'm cursing at the old guys. I'm diving. I'm jumping on over the net,
Yeah, it's like
spiking it back at their face. No, I'm just kidding. Like,
well, I don't know. It'd be a fun. I mean, it'd be a fun activity, I think, for the two of you.
yeah,
But
yeah. So that's kind of my thinking is I want to get moving again, but I kind of want to find a fun way to do that. So
Mhm.
we'll see. Those are my goals. So time management and finding some kind of physical hobby.
all right, very good. Let's see. We have some time left. I did write something here. If we wanted to go around and share a favorite memory from 2023, kind of reflecting on the year, we can pick out one.
I can't think of anything.
Shut up. You have the best one out of all of us.
Yeah.
So if that's okay, I can go first.
Yeah, we'll just go you, Derek, me again.
All right.
It's fine.
I've got two that I want to choose from. I'm going to pick one. Obviously, it's come down to these two events from this year, and the one I'm going to pick happened earlier in the year, and that was my 30th birthday party. That was one of the best weekends of my life. Made better by my loving friends and family who organized a fantastic 30th birthday party at a local brewery, and I literally had zero idea that it was happening. So my surprise when I saw everybody was genuine, and I'm pretty sure I teared up a little bit. That was also the weekend of the Eagles Super Bowl, so there's a lot of emotions.
Oh my God.
My friend from Atlanta surprised me. I was not expecting to see her, and friends from college that traveled from like North Carolina and New York, not easy commutes whatsoever, made the trip, and you guys were there obviously. And
bro, I drove 15 minutes. You're
I don't
not
know.
able to acknowledge that?
I appreciate it. No, any amount of time dedicated. 1 minute. If you walked a minute down the street, anything.
I had to make 4 turns to get there.
Yeah, I had to go through a couple stop signs, dude.
The fact that you guys were there meant the world to me, and shout out to my family and everyone who had a part in organizing that. The food was amazing.
Yeah.
That was my first time at that brewery. Unfortunately, I think they've closed down since then, which is sad to hear. But the staff there was courteous and really accommodating, even though they made me chug the boot, which is a glass. I think it's like 32 ounces of beer, maybe more than that, in the shape of a boot. And there's a certain point where the liquid kind of siphons when you get closer to the toes. And it just shoots it, basically shotguns down your gullet. And I felt physically ill after that. But that aside, one of the best nights and weekends of my life. And that was definitely the highlight of my 2023.
That was awesome.
Hey man, we
it was a good time
there too.
I'm glad. Yeah, it was so much fun.
Yeah, I guess on my end, there's definitely some recency bias in this one because I'm picking something that happened last month.
That's fine.
One of my friends from college, someone I lived with for last year, I guess my senior year. We went to the Poconos for a joint bachelorette weekend. So we were up there in a really nice house for, I think, 4 days, 3 nights, something like that. And as I mentioned in the previous segment, like I was definitely at the start of my upswing there. So normally if I was taking a drive anywhere or there was something I had to do, most of this year it would fill me with this crazy like lack of desire to do it and crazy anxiety leading up to it. But this time it was filling me with excitement. So that feeling excited instead of anxious was something I absolutely appreciated.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome.
Made better by the fact that, I got to spend 4 days in the mountains drinking with my friends. That was definitely one of my favorite memories of 2023. So shout out to the people who were there.
And you gonna leave out the best detail from that weekend?
Yeah, what was the theme of that?
Yeah, there was a certain theme to that party,
themed.
Right?
So, that's why you wanted to go.
You're a rock star.
Yeah,
that was the true reason for your excitement.
Unexpected. I think the bride got like a piece of luggage, and I think the ribbon on it was Shrek themed or something like that, and she just absolutely loved it. So the maid of honor and the best man decided, let's make this a lightly Shrek themed bachelorette party. So we like wrapped the whole like house in green and white streamers. We hung like happily ever after over the fireplace. The maid of honor and best man made a mud cake, basically with worms. It looked like a swamp.
Oh, damn, that's dope.
Yeah, that's probably tasted really good.
That's funny though. A lightly themed, a lightly Shrek themed.
You can't go lightly.
There was nothing else.
You can't go lightly.
Wait. Was the Shrek ketchup there?
No, thank fucking God, no.
Derek would have turned around and been like, "I'm out."
She just had like a bowl of onions available for people.
Yeah. The gift bag that they gave away to everybody. There was just an onion in a brown bag. It's fantastic. Well, I used it. I ate it.
That onion would get put to good use in my household.
Oh, and every time we ate, I would say that I was getting the fine china, which is just the paper Shrek plates that we had.
Yeah, I think you sent us a Snapchat of the plate, and you're like, it's a Shrek themed party. I'm like, oh fuck, shit's getting real.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. How about you, Chris? You got anything special in 2020?
No clue what
you guys already know this. This was probably, well, not probably, is in the top 2 to 3 moments of my life. Probably number 1.
Yeah, podium finish for sure.
Yeah, I think so.
Well, this and our wedding is like a tie there.
Yeah, 1A, 1B.
But yeah, exactly. But the birth of our child, our first child. So obviously that was a crazy special moment, and it was very surreal because obviously, I was talking about this before. It's like all those things that, like, when you're growing up, you just like, like they happen in life, but you're like, yeah, it'll happen one day, like, getting married or, having a child. Like, so like I'm doing those things and I'm just like, oh my God, like it is kind of surreal that like, at that time, like, we literally just had a baby, and and I like what I was saying earlier about like wanting to prioritize my time more, like it definitely changed a lot of things within me and just like my outlook on certain things and kind of what's important and what's not important, even though the world and life tries to make you think that a lot of stupid shit is like really important.
Oh yeah.
There's really actually very few things that matter, and so like that's what I'm trying to kind of harness a little bit more. So but that was definitely a special moment, obviously, is the birth of our child, and me becoming a father. It's the next kind of phase of my life, which I've been so eager and excited for, and it's been great. I mean, it's just funny, like for like I'm checking those big things off, and I'm like, what's the next one? Like, okay, like when my kids like eventually like get married or something, and then like retirement. Like I'm kind of working through the big list, like, and I'm like, oh shoot, like the next big one is like retirement.
Your 40th and 50th birthday, maybe.
Yeah, like I don't like, dude, oh man,
buying a boat for no reason.
Yeah, exactly. Like taking up golf and hating it. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Kid number 2. No pressure.
Who knows? Who knows? I will say this. I remember at our wedding though, my mom, everyone was like, banging on the glass for us to kiss, and my mom's like, "Where are the grandkids?" And I'm like, "Mom, it's literally the wedding day. Like, chill, bro."
She's got one thing on her mind. She's like, "You two better give me grandkids now."
That's been a really cool thing though, is seeing my parents and obviously like her family become grandparents. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's Ryan, I know you've seen that, like, with your sister and everything, and Derek, I'm not sure, but it's kind of like makes me like pissed though, because it's like they're so much nicer as grandparents.
What the hell?
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they spoil way more. I'm like, bro, this is bullshit.
Where was this when I was that age?
Yeah.
Oh, it's so funny.
Yeah,
I know.
Yeah.
I know what you mean, though. Yeah, seeing that my parents interact with my niece and nephew is just it's so wholesome. Especially like I knew my mom was going to be like grandma of the year. Like she's like she goes all out for the kids. But seeing my dad like interact with them, like getting like I don't know, my dad's like I love my dad and everything, but I wasn't really sure how he'd interact with like the kids, because I'll be honest, I don't really remember like how like we would interact when I was little.
Like little, yeah. No, I totally get that. My dad's been the same way too. He's like, I'm like, damn, you're soft as hell.
Yeah, it's kind of what I'm learning about my dad too. But it's nice.
Yeah.
I like it. But yeah, that's Derek and I can't top that one. Not yet, at least.
No, you don't have to. Listen. Barbenheimer was a close, it's a close second.
Yeah, true.
Beating Lies of P. That's not too far off, or whatever.
I haven't been that yet, but
oh my god,
2024, baby.
Yeah, there we go. Add it to the resolution list, baby. I did have actually on my list of possible resolutions was play a more variety of video games, and I think I've done a good job of that to end 2023 so far.
If you get that PS5.
Santa, please. Now we'll see. Yeah, that if that happens, my whole world, the whole world's my oyster. Like I'm gonna be in. That sleep resolution is gonna be
right
difficult
out the window
to keep. Yeah, damn. I didn't think about that. That's kind of counterproductive.
It's going the opposite way.
I'll be up till like 3 a.m. like I just beat Spider-Man. Moving on to God of War.
3rd.
Dude, oh man. Yeah, that's exciting, but I think we all have I'll be honest, I didn't realize I had this many goals and resolutions. I was kind of poo-pooing on the resolution vibe, but I like it. I'd rather call them goals, like I said.
Hey, that's fine.
It's not for the year, it's for the future, right?
It's a synonym. Yeah. Mean the same thing.
English major.
Yes, sir.
Hasn't lost a step. Well, that'll just about do it for us for this episode. I guess the next time you hear our voices will be in the new year, 2024.
Shit.
Yeah, I just want to thank all of you, everyone in the audience, everyone under the thrall of my voice for listening to us. I know this is also one of my favorite memories of 2023, just starting this with you boys.
Hell yeah.
It's great to talk to you guys once a week, and I do look forward genuinely to every recording we have. So.
Yeah, it's certainly been fun, and I think it's been a very productive venture, and I think we've all learned a lot, about one another, but even just the process itself.
Yeah, and we've definitely gotten better. Like we've grown as a group these last few months. Like one day I'll go back and listen to episode 1 again and just see how much we've improved. I know that my camera or my microphone improved tremendously. But yeah, no, I'm proud of us, and I think we've done a really good job keeping to our schedule and maintaining, and just being consistent with our content.
Yeah.
So
yeah, good discipline for sure.
Bigger things in 2024, maybe.
Yeah. Well, I was thinking, should old acquaintance be forgot and never brought to mind? If you have an answer for that question, you can reach out to us on Instagram. We are at 5 o'clock sweats. X, we are at 5 o'clock sweats. We are available in audio form on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts. Anything I'm forgetting?
Happy New Year, everybody. See you next year.
See you next year. And as always,
stay sweaty.
Stay sweaty.
I was also gonna hawk your favorite memory from 2024 because I thought it'd be funny if Ryan did his, and I was like, my favorite memory from 2023 was the birth of Chris's daughter. I'm like, no, I'm not gonna be
and then see what I say.
Yeah. Shit, I can't. What do I do now? Seeing John Wick 4 with Ryan in the theater.
Yeah, bro, we shared popcorn.
We did. We did share popcorn. Yeah. You let me put my hands in there.
Yeah, there's something else in there.
Oh. Yeah, some of that ranch seasoning.
Popcorn. Oh.
No. I'm talking about the butter that we put on it.
Oh yeah, shit. We did put some butter on there. I think I might have did the popcorn trick where you put the straw.
No, he did a different trick. He cut a hole in the bottom.
Yeah, if you insert the butter from the bottom, it fills the bottom, so it's not just top. It's just it's not just on the top. You get some at the bottom, It's like a gelati or whatever. Like from you know what I'm talking about, Rita's.
That's the grossest analogy you've ever constructed.
What, gelati's delicious.
Not anymore.